Welcome to another episode of Bottom of the Bill, ladies and gentlemen. We got our boy John Parkerurban on today. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate that.
Hell yeah. Before we get started with everything, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsors that we've had in the past. Spliffs over downtown Jacksonville, Wicked Barley Brewery in Mandarin, Sidecar over in San Marco, Harleston Scotch. It's a Scotch company based out of here in Florida, and they're really great. You should definitely check them out. Captain Jack's Smokehouse over in Fernandina, and Brews over in Riverside. Make sure you're supporting all these people if you can. Everyone's going, especially service industry people, going through a pretty hard time right now. So anything you guys can do to help them out, support them for sure. And then also, if you guys have any suggestions for guests or unpopular opinions you want to send us, or questions you want to know about regarding
or
music
fan mail,
stuff,
whatever.
or fan mail, whatever you guys want to talk about,
Dick
bottomofthebill @gmail.com. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Say what?
Nothing.
Okay. Bottomofthebill @gmail.com. Send over whatever you got. We'll talk about it on the air. And before we get started, do the obligatory cheers.
What does obligatory mean?
It means you're obligated to do it.
Oh. Well, much obliged.
All right. So first, John Parkerurban. That's your real name, or that's a stage name?
Ha. It's not a stage name. It's a real name. It's kind of a long story, but to make the story shorter, when I was a senior in high school, I got a birth certificate in the mail out of the blue, right? Mm-hmm. So up until that point, my name has always been John Urban. And I got this envelope in the mail, and it's a birth certificate, and it says John Parker-Urban. So I'm like, what's going on? I asked my mom. I was like, what is this? She's like, well, I added this to your last name because you might inherit money from such and such a person, which never happened. She was totally off base. I was like, well, don't you think you should tell me about that?
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about it. All of a sudden, I get this letter in the mail. So graduating from high school, my senior year, my name changed to John Parker-Urban.
Wow.
In senior year of high school, you changed your name.
Right.
Weird.
But my name gets combined when I joined the Marine Corps, so that's another story if we get to that.
Oh, so, okay.
It was hyphenated, and then in the Corps, it was smashed together because they just like to smash everything together.
Oh, my God.
It was
wow,
awesome.
That's crazy, man. So where does the Parker come from then?
So
make sure you're talking into the microphones.
Okay, yeah. So I have four brothers, and Parker is the father of the second youngest brother, Mark Parker. So I've never met this man. I've never seen him in my life.
Okay.
And it was just one of those things. My mom is different. My mom is one of those different moms, and she's awesome. I'm thankful that she had me and all of us, but it's been a trip.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. And I don't want to say crazy as like a bad connotation, but like it's interesting, I guess, that you have a name in your name that's completely like unrelated to you.
Completely.
It's wild,
utterly,
man.
Completely unrelated.
But man, it's a really cool name though, John Parkerurban. It's got like a very nice ring to it. It sounds like a stage name that somebody would just make up, honestly.
Yeah.
But you watch football. You know Maurice Jones-Drew is, right?
Yep.
So his grandfather passed away, and his grandfather's last name was Drew. So his was Maurice Jones. So then he's like, I want to change my name to Maurice Jones-Drew, as in honor of his grandfather.
At least he was related to him, though.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I liked that you were trying to get in on some inheritance money.
Yeah,
Did you ever see any of it?
I wasn't. See, I'm like, I love my mom, but she's a professional.
I feel you.
She's a professional.
I feel you.
Yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, I had nothing to do with that. Like, I would have just preferred my name to be John Urban, because that's where it always was. And my nickname was basically Urban.
Oh, okay.
They just call me Urban in sports and everything.
That's cool. That's a great nickname to have.
So,
cool,
yeah.
Man. Well, so what happened? So you did like you were in the military, and I guess the military kind of changed it all to one name.
Yeah, straight out of boot camp.
Smush it together.
In boot camp, when we got our camis issued to us, our utilities, all my paperwork, my name came as one name, like Parkerurban, all together. So then I had to go through everything as people would say, "Hey, John Parkerurban." No, that's not it. Parkerurban. I'm sorry, man. It's not Parkerurban. Try again. And I would, it is what it is. I would just, laugh and say, no, it's just this way. But yeah, it got connected in the Marine Corps.
Wow. And what was that experience like being in the Marine Corps?
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Were you playing music before you got into the Marine Corps, or were you
Yes.
okay?
Yeah, so I started playing when I was like 12, and I played all through, high school, and then once I graduated high school, I went into the Marine Corps. And
Sounds about right.
once I got out of boot camp, my guitar went with me everywhere I went. Like every deployment, everywhere I could take it, it was always with me, even overseas. So
What were you taking with you? What guitar?
okay, so the first thing I took with me, I had this Joe Satriani, with the wizard neck.
Yeah.
More of like a shredder type guitar, but that wasn't my main guitar. But that's what I took with me to my first deployment when I went to California. But my main guitar was a Gibson SG, like a 1960s, that was lent to me from the Spanish teacher of my school. It had P90s in it, and I loved that guitar. I couldn't stand Fenders at that point.
Yeah.
I just loved the P90s and that Gibson, and it was amazing. When I graduated, I gave it back to Lance, and then I joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, and then I went to California for boot camp. Then I went to Memphis, Tennessee for my A school, and went to the clubs down there, boxing some of the bars over there.
Nice.
Shooters. There was a place called 616 where Slash was playing with Snake Pit there back in the day.
Damn.
So that was fun. And then went to C school in California.
What's C school? What's A school and C school?
A school is it's a technical school. So after in the Marine Corps, I came in open contract. I said, I just want to be a Marine. Just for some reason in me, I just wanted to be a Marine. If I wasn't gonna go to college at the time, I wanted to be a Marine. So I came in open contract, and the recruiter's like, "Well, you come in open contract, we really can't guarantee anything." And I was like, "Well, as long as I'm not a cook, I don't care what I am. I just don't want to be a cook. I enjoy cooking, but I didn't want to be a cook in the Marine Corps." So my scores tested me out as into aviation. So I became aviation technician, basically electronics.
That makes sense.
So so A school was the basics, like hydraulics, different engines, diesel engines, and that was in Memphis. And then C school in Coronado Island, home of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Woo.
The Colonel. That's where you do the high level stuff.
Gotcha.
Like when I walked in my first class in C school on Coronado Island, my instructor, he said, let you guys think about something about electricity. He's like, when you turn a light on, does it provide light or does it suck out all the darkness? This is one of my instructors. That's his first thing.
Deep. Yeah, that's definitely deep.
So
that would have screwed me up.
Yeah, but that was fun. I swore I could have ran into the what's that dude from Limp Bizkit out there in one of the
Fred Durst.
Yeah, in one of the recording studios.
Really?
But I wasn't into any that type of music. And what was the place called?
Not Sun Records, right?
No, it was a rehearsal / recording studio in San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Okay, I thought you were talking about Memphis.
Yeah, it was pretty dope though. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
I was thinking about Fred Durst in Memphis. Like, we're gonna drop this new track, man. It's gonna be awesome in the bars in Memphis. Yeah. They would have hated him there, or maybe not. Maybe they loved him. I don't know what it was in the '90s.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things involving me playing guitar and the Marine Corps was when I was stationed at Camp Pendleton. We had this new compound built, right? So it was this huge compound built for all of our aircraft support equipment, and we had generals there, all the brass, some officers, and so they're like, "Man, you should play guitar for this." I was like, "Man, I don't want to play. I don't even know what I'm going to play." somebody brought their amp and their guitar. I was like, I didn't bring my amp or guitar. I'm not playing at this. Just like, come on, you can play. Just make up something. I was like, ah. So here I am. I got the amp in the middle of the whole squad formation, and I wasn't even thinking about it, but I just started playing the national anthem. I started playing the national anthem on a guitar that wasn't mine, somebody else's amp.
Like Jimi Hendrix style national anthem?
No, because it was just like there was no pedals, no nothing. It was just like a little bit of distortion.
Clean. Yeah, okay.
So
straight up like Marine Corps national anthem. Let's go.
The funny part of it was though, like whenever the national anthem hits, boom, people pop to attention.
Yeah, of course.
It's like boom, all the brass generals. So technically, it's like, oh man, I made them all come to attention. But it's like, whoa, it was kind of a powerful moment.
Yeah, I can imagine, man.
It's like their favorite song.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, for Marines, it was.
I don't know.
So
we like the Marine Corps hymn too. That's a good one. Marine Corps hymn.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Wow.
So were you thinking? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering.
Were you thinking about that when you played it? Like, were you thinking about that? Like,
I totally forgot that I was gonna make all these jokers come to a position of attention because that's not like me. But it happened. I have one picture of it.
Really?
Yeah, I have one picture of that.
That's got to be such an interesting moment for somebody who's like not in command. You know what I mean? To like to play that and just see like all your officers just like get up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden like you're the person in control now.
Yeah.
That's got to be a very interesting dynamic.
It was like they just had to stand. I think I was only a corporal at the time, so I was very junior there. So, but that was a good time. Camp Pendleton was awesome. The Marine Corps was awesome. I had a great time in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Great time overseas. And
how long did you do it for?
I was in for 12 years.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
12 years. So I spent time in Memphis, San Diego for boot camp. Went to Beaufort, South Carolina. I was stationed there.
Wow.
Japan, Iwakuni, Japan.
We went to Japan too?
Yeah. Norway.
Awesome.
I used to play in Japan for free yakisoba.
What's that?
So yakisoba was like the famous, Americans like the yakisoba noodles.
Okay.
Like the yakisoba, teriyaki. You can add chicken to it and stuff like that.
No idea what you're talking about. I understand that it's food.
Yeah. So that was awesome. Other than doing my Marine job there, I'd go out in town and play at the local restaurant and get free beer and free yakisoba.
It was at a restaurant. Sorry, I was thinking of you playing at a factory where they made noodles, and I was like, how?
No, that would have been that'd have been cooler actually. That might have been kind of cool, but
not very smart.
Yeah,
that's okay. Well, so you did it for 12 years, man. So I guess you got out when you were 30, then.
I think it was. I can't remember.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, something like that.
If you got,
it's about 30. Yeah.
High school. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine just now, because I'm 31, just getting out of the army, not the army, the Marines. Sorry.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh.
And not even that. I work for USAA, so I have to.
Really?
Yeah,
okay. I'm surprised I haven't talked to you lately.
Really? Do you have home insurance for USAA?
I have everything with USAA.
No shit.
USAA has done a great job. I don't have stock in USAA, but
that's my job is to I'm an emergency dispatcher for home insurance claims, but for USAA for particular, I have to address every single person as their rank and everything like that. So what was your final rank?
Staff sergeant.
SSGT, yeah.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
I know all the ranks.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the longest time, I was calling LCPL. I was calling that lieutenant corporal.
Yeah.
For years, and that is not right in the Marines. It's Lance Corporal.
Yeah.
I know that. Who's Lance though?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's as far as my Marines jokes go.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. It's all good. Thank you. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
it's a job. It's a job.
Yeah.
So did you start your first band after you got out of the military then, or be a part of a band after you got out of the military?
Kind of, sort of. I had a few that were just rehearsing while you're in.
Right.
And for example, one we rehearsed just a crap load of rehearsing, and because we're going to play the Gullah Festival up in South Carolina. But then when I was stationed there in South Carolina, we were all rehearsed up. We got a tight R&B, old school R&B band that loved Frankie Beverly and Mays. So that's when I got my first influence of Frankie Beverly and Mays. As a matter of fact, the singer for that band, Master Gunnery Sergeant Kenny, he's actually here in Jax. So
really?
I'll probably do some dual shows with him and introduce him to the scene. He's got an amazing, just an amazing velvety voice. Like this
hell
guy
yeah.
he's bad. But like we rehearsed a whole bunch, and then I got dragged off to. I had orders. I had to leave, and to go to sergeant's course and stuff, up in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Land of Jacksonville, North Carolina. Land of all the strip clubs and.
Is that really what Jacksonville, North Carolina is?
It is to me. I'm like, this is nothing but strip clubs, and I want to play some music. So I'd go up there for sergeant's course. Then I had to go back up there for staff sergeant's course, in martial arts, and so I spent a good bit of time up there while I was stationed in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And then when you weren't really gigging out at that point then. Obviously you had like.
No.
You were just you were
any
preoccupied.
kind of gigs was like I would gig for my squadron. Like if they had some parties or something, like me and Master Sergeant Kenny, Sergeant Kenny, we did some gigs and stuff for the squadron and stuff like that. But nothing out in town.
Yeah.
Nothing really out in town until like later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think like the military influenced your discipline as a player, like your practice? I mean, because
yeah.
It's like people that go in the military typically come out and they're very disciplined, very regimented. It's like this is how you do things. I can imagine that must have kind of boiled over into your playing a little bit, your practicing at least.
I don't know really, because like I've always been like just like ADD about playing. I don't know what it is. I've been like I have this drive to practice. Like everything is almost like a practice session for me. If you talk to Juanita, she's like, it's like you're always in college. It's like you're always in school. Like ever since we've been together, because I'm always practicing. Whether it's getting me anywhere or not, I'm always practicing. Like I'm fine tuning it now. I know what I want to practice and what I need to practice, but I've always just had that worth ethic of practicing. Even when I was stationed, no matter where I was stationed at, I would have it, and I'd practice like hours if I could. I'd practice before I want to eat or something. I don't know. It'd be what's more important? I don't know.
It seems like you kind of need to have that like work ethic, anyways, to be a Marine. Before, like, I'm not trying to sell anybody short or anything like that, but like, yeah, like you need to, be serious about joining the military. So you'd be serious your whole life the rest of the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of goes hand in hand. I don't know.
What what was like the first creative project that you got involved in that was like out gigging and stuff?
Probably a band called Straight Up.
Straight Up?
Yeah, they're actually a local Jacksonville band. They're an R&B band, and we had saxophone, bass, me on guitar, and a guy named Julius Walker on guitar. And I learned a lot from him on all of his rhythm. And he's actually a retired Air Force cat.
Oh, okay.
And he's an awesome individual. XO on the drums. That was a fun and great band. That's where I met I think Myrna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was in that band, and Myrna came and auditioned for that band, and along with a couple other singers, and she got the spot, and so we played for I don't know, probably like 2 or 3 years and Straight Up.
Nice. And what kind of stuff were you guys doing?
We're doing a lot of like funk and old school R&B, like what's that song?
Smokey Robinson. I'm just guessing.
That's like the only R&B.
Like I Will Survive and stuff. And like,
oh, I know. Sorry.
Billy doesn't know anything about it.
Anything, really?
Yeah, if it's not like EDM, he doesn't know about it.
What else? I would wish we would have hit some more Frankie Beverly, but we didn't hit any of that. We did some Larry Carlton. What's the band? Steely Dan. We did some
Steely Dan. Yeah.
We did some Steely Dan.
I'm aware of that band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who Larry Carlton is?
He was in Steely Dan.
Yeah. So that was a working band. That was probably my first working band, like where we always had gigs. Like I was always gigging every weekend and stuff. And then probably the first project that was actually under me was the Park Street Band.
Park Street Band.
And that's where like when me and Myrna broke off from Straight Up and we did the Park Street Band.
So were you guys like writing music at that point, or were you still doing covers mostly?
Yes, we were writing music, and in a Park Street band, we were doing basically whatever we felt like playing. It's kind of like side B stuff, you know. Nothing that was real popular, but like a lot of side B stuff. And sometimes with members, you know how it is in bands, like people have different ideas, and that's a whole nother story. It's a struggle being leading the band, because you just want everything to be like a democracy. But some things you just have to, you have to like, we got to kind of go this way.
There's always got to be a band leader.
You got to make it. Someone's got to be the final.
And so that was me the whole time. It was like, I don't want to play this. This is gross to me. We need to play stuff that people aren't playing all the time.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to play this song. People are playing it. And so, yeah, that's kind of what guided the direction of the Park Street Band, and that's what guided the direction of the Parkerurban Band.
Those are typically my favorite bands that I see, are the ones that are doing like songs by a popular artist that you might not know.
Yeah.
Right. We just got into this discussion the other day, and Billy's like, I was saying that we should do this song called "I'm Yours" by Prince, which is like the last song on the For You album, like the first album that he released. And I was like, that song would be a banger to pull off.
What would be a banger, though?
And Billy's like, yeah, but nobody's ever heard that song before. It's like, somebody's heard it, and it'd be very cool to that person who's heard it.
Let's play Raspberry Beret. I don't understand why. There you go. Why can't we do that?
Just so you what you want to do the Cars, right? What song?
You're Just What I Needed, which is a banger.
That's a terrible song.
It's not a terrible song. Everybody knows it. They're gonna sing it and everything like that. There's nothing wrong with playing B-sides. I'm all about it. I am all about it.
You're saying that now.
I'm saying it for true. I think that it's awesome and everything like that. But you're playing out to musicians. Like you're doing it because it's like it's in your heart. You're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You want to win the crowd.
Yeah, but you
gotta play the hits.
Yeah.
Shut up and play the hits.
No, I hate that mentality. But anyways.
All right, so that is great. I think all the music is great. Regardless of what you're playing, you're actually contributing positive vibrations into the universe, whatever. But like me and a couple other members, like we would, like me and Myrna, like she's like one of my best friends, but we're like sister and brother. We sometimes and stuff, but like if someone gets up from the table, some people might take that personal, but you can't think about that. You can't think about that kind of stuff to throw you off. It's like you just play, you're playing. So like we would get a lot of comments saying, like especially in the beginning days of Parkerurban Band, where Parkerurban Band was playing a lot of bars and a lot of restaurants.
Naturally,
and people would say, man, no one sounds like you guys. No one sounds like, and part of that reason is the songs that we did play, we would play it, to the T to be familiar.
Yeah.
But then we would go somewhere else, or it would just be different because we had Juanita and Myrna, and there was always an ingredient of some type of improv in it.
Right.
Like some type of in the song selections that we did, like.
You can't not do that and be in a cover band or play covers the whole time and not want to just like kill yourself immediately.
Yeah,
because like if you play it exactly as it is on the radio 100,000 times through, I'm out. Like I don't want to be in that band either. So I get it. And then the B-sides too. I'm like, let's play like these songs that people don't know. I'm there. I'm there with you, John. 100%.
And everybody, it's people can do. You just do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy, and. There's always going to be a market, or someone's going to want to listen to it. So it really don't even matter. It doesn't really
like if you play well, and it shows that you're playing well and everything like that. It
doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
All I am trying to say though, if you also play 1999 as well as you possibly can, that's gonna hit. It's gonna hit a little bit harder.
I have some stuff to say to you guys later
about Prince.
Anyways.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I can't wait.
Yeah. So I do want to talk about Parkerurban Band because when I first moved to Jacksonville, there was like this blooming like jam band funk scene that you guys. It was Herta Watts and you guys were the first bands that I saw when I came here. And I saw Herta Watts. I was like, holy fuck, holy shit, these guys are awesome. And then I remember seeing you guys, and I was like, this is like a whole different situation going on over here. And it was like there was something so real about what you guys were doing that just like the energy was so like you were my favorite Jacksonville band.
Wow.
So if you want to kind of talk about Parkerurban Band a little bit, like what the idea was behind that, and also the family band kind of dynamic that was super cool with that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for that comment. It was a journey, man. It was a journey.
I'll bet. Yeah.
So from being in the Park Street Band, Juanita started to sing with us toward the end of Park Street Band, and probably the last year or so that band, and then we started Parkerurban Band, which used to be called Parkerurban Band. At the very beginning, the first couple months was called Green Tea Logic.
I don't remember that. I see
Yeah.
Parker Urban Band a ton
So-
of times, but I don't remember that one.
That's a great name.
Green
though.
Tea Logic is a name that I came up with, but so everybody was like, "Whoa, do we want to keep that name?" I was like, "Well, I'm down. You can change if you want." So we did a vote, right, in a baseball hat, and so everybody wrote the names that they wanted out of a certain range of names: Green Tea Logic or Parkerurban Band. And then I remember my son Jalen picking the names out the hat. So more people voted for Parkerurban Band.
Wow.
But really, I wanted a Green Tea Logic just because I didn't want the band to be directly attached to the name. I wanted some more flexibility
Right.
to do more stuff because I didn't know if I was, like, for me, it's always been like, I don't know if I'm mature enough in my journey in music to go ahead and put everything behind my name yet. So that's always been a big deal for me. And it still is to this day. It's like, I'm still searching. I'm still practicing. My voice. I don't know if my voice is even there yet.
So this is extremely
Relevant?
relevant, but like it's extremely it's an extremely mature way of thinking because this is something that like when I first came to Jacksonville and I did the Anton LaPlume bands, I didn't know like a good band name, so I just went with that. And my dad was like, be careful when you do that because you don't really you're not at a point yet where your name can really hold up everything that you can do.
Right.
So you want to kind of go into that, like what that actually, like why you made that
It
decision?
makes sense, 100%. He has an awesome name.
Yes.
And your name sounds like it's made up.
Okay, that's
No, that's the awesome name too.
that's.
It's not an awesome name, John. Sorry to say it. He sounds like a
Come to
magician from the...
Anton's gig and it's gonna LaPlume.
It's
No,
good. Yeah,
he sounds like a magician
that.
from the 1800s. Is what he sounds like. The
you're-
great Anton.
You're the. I'd totally be down for that role though. By the way, right? Like, who
Oh my
wouldn't be?
God, you sound... All right, whatever.
Anyways, for those who don't understand, like really, like what that actually means, you want to kind of give them some perspective on that.
Yeah. So, for one thing, I've always been, for me personally, my struggle has been, I've always had a day job, whether it was the Marine Corps for 12 years or a day job. So I wasn't getting all the road time, even though I was practicing all the time at home, and I'd practice open mics, and I would find the badass cat start playing. I was like, I need to spend more time with him. I need to watch him and stuff. When like one cat I would like to mention is like when I got to Jacksonville, going to the blues jams at Yesterday's. This cat named Jonathan Brock, he came from Nashville, and his mom, Slenda Pink, and his musicality. He's like super into Steve Vai,
Okay.
but also Freddie King at the same time.
Nice.
But more so into Freddie King. Like, just
Had that
I was just
blues
blown
kind of
away,
thing.
and like he was a big inspiration for me. I was like, oh shit, man, this is good stuff right here. So, and for me to put like Parkerurban behind my band, that name right then, it wouldn't be right because those shows will stay with you forever. Like it's like, okay, I mean it's fine too because you can see a musician mature, and you can see a band mature, but I didn't want to really go that route. I wanted to do some bands, and then when I was ready, I would go ahead and put my name behind it. But we were playing for quite a while, and I was like, okay, Parkerurban Band it is. Everybody wants to do Parkerurban Band. All right, let's do Parkerurban Band, which I have no regrets about it. But, as one thing that I ran into with that name being Parkerurban Band is, like back when we had another baby with Mateo, and then Chris and Milo, they had a baby, and Jill had Milo. everybody's having babies because that's the natural vibe of the universe.
You're
having babies.
That's
Eventually,
a great band name, by the
it's
way.
going to happen.
Everybody's having babies.
Everybody's having babies. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, of course.
So when that happened, I was like, okay, we're going to take a natural hiatus. I don't know if we're going to get back together. I still don't know if the band's going to get back together. There's been so many members of the Parkerurban band, and they've all been just like morphed into different things, like from people that moved to LA that couldn't play it no longer, or for whatever reasons, like double bookings, or like we just weren't booking, so we had to switch bass players. So there's so many musicians that have been in the band, but so I didn't really want to put my name behind it back then, but we just kind of went with it, and yeah.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic to have, or an interesting thing to think about, because it's like, if you're not like you're saying, if you don't feel confident in where you are completely as an artist yet, maybe you don't want to be attached. Like, you don't want to be attached to that one specific project just yet. And also, people get this expectation where if they see your name, that's what they're going to go and see.
Exactly.
Hey, you can't start over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
That's where I forgot to tell. I forgot to mention. Like, so yeah, after the wonderful babies, blessings. After all the babies and blessings come.
Also great.
I never stopped playing, so I was booking shows even after Parkerurban band stopped. Like, our last show was like at Prohibition Kitchen, but I was booking shows that next spring at Spring in the Blues, that next thing. And I just kept going, because, but when that took place, it's kind of hard because everybody knows you from Parkerurban band,
right? And
it's kind of like, okay, well, we can't be Parkerurban band right now because we got priorities to do, and so that was a hard part to divide. It's like, everybody is looking for the Parkerurban band, but simply I just, I'm just off growing on my own, and
right. We have the same issue now sometimes where people are still putting up like Anton the Plume Band instead of Side Hustle and stuff like that. You're like, okay, I understand like why you're doing that, but that's not really, definitely not the same thing. Number one, and number two, it's just like, just if you saw that incarnation of the band, however many years ago, 3 or 4 years ago when that was, then, and you're expecting to see that, it's for sure not going to be what you're going to see here. You know what I mean? That's a weird thing to have to explain to people sometimes. They get like almost like upset by it. Like, they take it offensive. They get offended by it almost, It
is.
One of the things that made sense to me why we should change our name to what it is now is because it wasn't just you writing songs.
Right.
It's like everybody in the band is writing songs and then writing it together.
Right.
So it's like, was that the kind of case with the Parkerurban band too? Is that, they were all writing songs with you?
Yes, I've always everybody's had ideas, like in that band, like the lyrics and stuff was like pretty much was a combination between me, Juanita, and Myrna.
Yeah.
So most of the music I was writing the music. There's a few songs where Myrna would have some melodies and she would have ideas on how the music would go, and I would write some lyrics. Juanita had her lyrical songs, or I'd help co-write. Me and Myrna have co-written songs together. And so the Parkerurban band, kind of the core members have always been just me, Juanita, and Myrna. But whoever was in the band at the time, I could name everybody. They're freaking, they're all awesome. We are, like, we'll play together again. Like, when we stopped playing Parkerurban band, I played with basically everybody that I've played with in the past in the band, like Adam, Eric, Javian, me and Chris Poland play quite a bit, and
one of the most phenomenal musicians in Jacksonville, by the way.
He's a ridiculous musicologist, man. He is. So, and like what you said, people posting Anton LaPlume band. This is actually happening to me right now,
right?
Because I have a show coming up, but it's being posted as Parkerurban band. I'll be posting about it here in the near future, but it's gonna be me, Myrna, and it's gonna be Sean Taunton, Adam Kenaway, And
That sounds amazing.
Philly's just
I like how
And,
I'm out there.
and there's this fantastic trombone player that he's actually from here, but he lived in D.C. for a while, Wes, and he reminds me of Chris on the saxophone, if that tells you anything.
wow, yeah.
So Chris can't be at this one because he has a bundle of joy coming. They're
Really?
him and Jill are due, at the end of the month, and that's when this gig pops off.
Oh
But,
my God! Wow.
I'll be posting about it, and blessings to them, and
What's
it's
the
good
name of the
times.
band? Babies All the Time? I can't remember what the name
Is
was.
Bas-
You said babies and blessings.
No.
Yeah.
That's what you said
But
was a-
before, what were we calling that was the best band name ever?
I don't remember.
Something about babies.
Yeah.
That's a good band name too, I guess.
Something about everything's a great band
What's
name.
that show though, Joe?
John.
John, that's sorry.
Yeah, I'll be
Learned my
posting on
words
that
already.
one. It's September 27th.
September 27th. We're
Yeah.
in Jacksonville?
No, it's going to be at Clay County.
Where's Cle? Oh, but close around.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So I will post on some details on that. But I'm already hit up everyone and got a set list together. On some actually, there's going to be some pub tunes in there, some Parkerurban band tunes. There's going to be some new tunes, that I'm covering vocally, and everything. So it should be fun.
There's still this. That's gonna be exciting, man. I'd
Yeah,
love
for
to come and
sure.
see that if we're not doing anything.
We're not.
Jesus Christ.
We haven't done anything for 6 months. What are you talking about?
We've got some shit coming up. We can't say it just yet, but we've got some stuff in the works. Other than Monster Mash, get your
That's
tickets
what's
now.
up. Yeah. Monster Mash.
Are you
That's,
commenting?
I think I'm going to be there.
Do you want to win our ticket giveaway?
There's nobody else who's sharing.
No,
Nobody's
people-
entering.
people are
Got
entering.
a pretty good odds of
People
winning.
are entering. People are entering. I'm just fucking
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. That's probably gonna be like the first legit festival in such a long time
It's
and
on
stuff.
Halloween on a Saturday.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
gonna be great.
All you
beautiful.
Halloween people.
Halloween's like my favorite holiday, even though I don't get to celebrate it much because I'm raising little kids and my house is pretty strict with Halloween stuff.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
I suppose. I'm more of a Christmas guy myself.
Yeah.
Well, I
Billy-
do like Christmas too now,
Christmas
but
is my favorite.
that's a
Anyways, that has nothing to do with music.
I
Keep going.
wanted to say something about fuck.
The show that he's playing?
No, it was something else. I can't remember right now. But I did want to ask you about the dynamic of being in a band with your wife and that whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
what
Family
was that
band.
experience like? I mean, Juanita's an incredible
Yeah.
singer
Yeah,
and
she's great.
and front woman as well. And did you guys meet during that, or were you guys together before the band got
Yeah.
to be? Okay.
So we were together before that. So me and Juanita met in Beaufort, South Carolina, and it was totally unrelated to music. It was kind of like we started seeing each other, like we knew of each other from friends and stuff, and we weren't dating or anything like that. But we just started hanging out. That was a time where I was going back and forth to North Carolina, Jacksonville, North Carolina, and that was just a different time, man. I was like into racing and doing stunts. So I had a stunt team back then. So not only was I playing guitar, I had the stunt team on motorcycles. It was called Sick Intentions.
Yeah.
So if you know about the Rough Riders and doing tank wheelies and stuff and cradle chairs where your feet are over the windscreen on crotch rockets and doing wheelies like that.
Yeah.
That was me. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember talking to you about that. Yeah.
so I got video. I'm trying to break open one of my old PCs that has a video, but it was pretty crazy. My daughters would be like, they would see me doing that going on the road back then, and they're like, Papa, slow down. It's like,
How many lives have you lived,
Yeah, no
and
kidding, man.
why?
that's a Grant. Grant says to me all the time. Whenever we have a chance to talk, it seems like I got a different story every time.
I'm telling you, bro. I remember,
But-
I've said this to you in the past also, where I'm just like, what aren't you capable of? What haven't you pursued before? It's just like it's amazing. I wish I had that kind of drive and dedication to things.
It's crazy, man. Just kind of like things, like little things, like little fun facts. Like I used to be a firefighter when I was in high school.
How are you a firefighter in high school?
Well, so
Where'd you grow up?
in Beaverton, Michigan. So I'm from Flint, Michigan.
Really?
But
I know
yeah,
from up north. Okay.
yeah. I'm from. I graduated out of Beaverton, Michigan. So we had a volunteer firefighter system up there. So
Yeah, VFD.
I volunteered for it, and I had my pager,
Oh boy, really dating yourself here, John.
I had a pager, and that was crazy. Yeah, so I'd be in class and I would get a page and. Yeah, so I got to leave class. Yeah, so I got to leave
high
class.
school and be like, yeah, sorry, I got to go fight a fire right now.
Yeah,
I'm excused from school.
So I
For the greater good.
responded to 3 calls. I only responded to 3 calls. Like
Still
one was a stage collapsing, a music stage collapsing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not the most ironic shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it is. I only had to shoot up one time to go into this barn. It was a car fire inside this barn, so I had the full SCBA, self-contained like breathing apparatus tank and everything.
Yeah.
And it was intense, but it was it was nothing crazy.
Wow.
But anyway.
Yeah.
that's
That's a fun little fact. Fun fact of the day. So you and Juanita met. Yeah.
So we met. Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, Beaufort, South Carolina. So she worked I wrote this song called 8 Churchdale. Well, she used to work at this at Food Lion, and then when we started dating seriously, I lived at 8 Churchdale, and that's where I wrote that song called 8 Churchdale. It was the name of the lane where everything started and the memories came. Lots of passion, fun in the sun. She was incredible. She is the one.
Nice.
So yeah, I had to do that one time, but
Hell yeah.
yeah, we met there, and it wasn't about music. Like, we went to karaoke a few times. Like, she liked to do karaoke, and she loved riding the crotch rocket. So, like, we'd get up, like, wee hours of the night and just jet to Savannah. And one of her favorite things to do was, the on-ramps and off-ramps?
Yeah.
Well, when you're leaning, your foot is, like, this far from the ground.
And you're bending all the way to the other
she's on the back.
too, yeah.
So, I mean, if
Lord.
she on a crotch rocket, the person on the back is a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And it just seems, it's like a, I don't know, roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's where we met. I got orders to Jacksonville, Florida, sorry. And we both moved down here, and that's when Jalen came.
Okay.
Yeah, we had Jalen. He was born at the Naval Hospital on NES Jags.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
So no music yet.
No music yet.
But she was
That's
still
awesome.
singing on the side, like, karaoke. Like, we'd go to Harmonious Monks.
Oh, nice.
Took my daughters over there. My daughters were like dancing on the bar, singing and stuff.
Nice.
Like,
That's must have been a fun experience for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so that was, I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful, because it's rare that you'll find someone and then it just blooms into something else. Like, she is like a music lover. She loves playing. Like, we were just jamming this past Sunday night. We were jamming till like 5 in the morning.
Really?
Just 5 in the morning. Like, our neighbors across the street. Like, we were out there at 1 o'clock in the morning. Our neighbors were like, "I'm gonna bring over 1,800 bottle. I just want to hear you guys play." We were about to go in, but 4 hours later, we were still out there jamming and stuff. And
That's awesome, man.
and
Where can you do that? What side of town you live on? Damn.
yeah, I live close to NES Jacks off of
Okay.
Collins
All right,
Road.
all right.
Yeah, our
that sounds
neighbors.
about right.
All of our neighbors, they know all the Parkerurban band members. Sometimes they come out and hang out when we're playing, and
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
stuff. Yeah.
So what was that dynamic like, being in a band with your was she your wife when you guys started the band, or when the band formed?
Yes. Yeah. We got because we got married in 2003, and I think Parkerurban band started in 2012.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you guys were already like
Yeah.
deep into the relationship.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So the dynamic was great. I mean, it was very hard as an individual. Like, my mind goes like a million miles an hour. Like, I'm always like writing riffs, and ideas are just coming from everywhere. But when you got like 8 people in a band, it's really hard, because you have to balance. Like, you got 2 great singers, and at that time I'm not even practicing singing, because I'm like, I'm intimidated. Like, these are some great singers, so I'm focusing mostly on changes and writing tunes and writing lyrics. But then you have keys, you have sax, you have percussion, drums, and it was awesome. It was like a big family band. Like, we would eat and stuff and have dinner and whatever. But the dynamic, it's kind of hard. It's a little hard to grow, because we were actually really busy too at the time. Like, we were playing like 2 to 3 gigs a week on average for the whole year. that's kind of busy for people who also have day jobs.
Oh, yeah,
so some
for
of us
sure,
also
man.
had day
And a full
jobs.
family.
Like the whole
And a
time I had a
family,
day
yeah.
job, and then at one point I was also going to college at the same time online.
And raising a
Like,
family too.
Yeah. And Juanita was going too. We actually walked across FSCJ stage the same day. It was.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
That's
yeah.
a
So
lot,
that
man.
dynamic
Those are
of
workhorses.
trying to improve yourself, it's always, it's been difficult because you got a gig coming up. So now you got to practice for the gig coming up.
Right.
You got to rehearse for the gig coming up. But I want to catch that like that 7/8 time lick thing that we were doing, but you don't have time for it. It's like, okay, hold off on that until next week. We're gonna do this song and this song, and
That's always a problem, especially before this whole quarantine
Yeah, I
thing
was
happened.
gonna say that too. Like during the coronavirus and everything, it's like, oh,
We
like,
made those-
I don't have to do that insane
Yeah,
schedule
now
anymore.
we can just like write constantly. But, like
Yeah.
before this whole thing, it was like, okay, well, we have this festival coming up, or we're going on the road, and we have these dates coming up. We need to put together not just practice the songs, but we need to put together a set list,
Yeah.
and then practice the set list and all your transitions and how you're going to do it all, where your improv moments and where we actually play.
Right.
Like this, all the shit has to be mapped out.
Right,
And when you're going on the road, once or twice a month, and or you have festivals, consistently, it's like, where's the time to write? Like, especially if you're trying to give them a different show every time.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
all your
So-
time is into practicing for the next show.
Yeah.
There's no practicing for yourself.
And there's no writing either. Like,
No,
writing
yeah.
is very difficult. That's
yeah.
the
So you
worst
end up
part.
playing a lot of the stuff that you try to write new stuff, but you end up playing some of the old stuff that you maybe not want to play. So
Yeah, you don't want to play, and
You
then
get
like
stuck in that cycle.
Yeah.
you
It
get stuck in that
sucks.
rut, man. That's why you don't see. It's like for me, I always try and focus on like, okay, well, there's bands that do it this way, and you'll see a different set, but you're always gonna hear the same songs.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, so what? Like for instance, Humphreys, right? Like they're gonna go on the road once or twice a year, and they're going to be out for 6 months
Oh, I
between
see.
the U.S.
Oh, okay.
and Europe
Right, right.
and Asia and everything, and then they come back, and then they don't they're not just going to be doing one-off gigs. They go back and they take a month or two off, and they go back to writing. They write a record, they record the record, they release a record, and the next year they tour on that record. It's
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's what we got to do then. We have to stop
Yeah.
all this fucking
Yeah.
just hopping on whatever festival and hopping on booking just random dates. It's like, let's do this with a real intention.
yeah, that's
So-
that's it.
You do. You have
That's
to
the
work like
recipe.
110% to get to that level. Like it's great. Like once you get to the part where you're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna record an album for like 6 months, and then we're gonna go tour with that album
Tour
for
with
the
that
next
album.
year and a half, and then come back to the recording. It's not like that when you're starting out.
Yeah, not when you're at this stage of
It's
it. Yeah,
just
you gotta
like
kind of hit
just-
wherever you can.
Well, not even that. It's. I'm just saying like there's no breaks like that.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
you do. We're like, okay, we have 4 days in the studio. We have a weekend off. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then it's just like, okay, straight back into everything.
Right.
Ugh,
Yeah, it's
awful.
rough, man. It's a
No.
lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun though,
It's
Yes,
like,
it
yeah, it has its moments.
and it pays really, really well. Like an insane amount of money. In fact, I don't understand why more people aren't doing it. More people should do it. So it's share the wealth.
Yes. I did kind of like you have like a very philosophical approach to playing. It seems like whenever we've spoken about stuff, or even on
Yeah.
social media, like you have this very, outspoken philosophical approach to like what you want. You want to kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's like I'm always searching and just trying to play, by feel, just trying to find my way.
Yeah.
And I had one of my good friends who I met out at Wani. He called me up one day. He's like, I seen a video that you posted, and man, that jazz stuff it's nice. He's like, so what made you go into jazz? And when he said that, it made me think about what made me go into that. Like I think jazz has always been like a big part of me. Like when I was growing up, my first influence was Randy Rhoads from Ozzy Osbourne.
I'm aware.
J-
That's the only name that you said so far that I understand.
Joe Pass.
Yes.
Joe Pass at that time when I was playing guitar, I was just like, it was so far over my head, so I'd keep on bouncing off of him and like, okay, do I understand more of this? A few months later, bounce off him again. Do I understand more now? Like that. But like Randy Rhoads stuff, I was like learning lick for lick on an acoustic guitar.
Wow.
I wired into a old jam box, so I had my guitar plugged into a stereo. Like I wired it in, and that's when I got the Gibson SG. So that was actually my first guitar that I'd wire in, and I would just playing that thing for days. I'd play in front of my house, like run my box out the window.
Nice.
And we lived on a dirt road, and we were kind of close to the road, so people would come by and they would just pull in and listen. I don't know if I sounded good or not, but they would just listen.
That's awesome, though, man. That's very cool.
You got it. I mean, if they're staying around, listen to you.
But so it's been a big journey, because like when I started out, I could not stand pentatonic scales. Everything that pulled to me was like the notes, the other notes, like the other colorful notes, which is like totally opposite for me now. I love pentatonics and diatonics, but I like all the approach notes and stuff in between. And playing by feel for so long and not like learning in school, I think that kind of has led me more on a philosophical path on what playing is. What is music? One day, where did music come from? Like, who decided what the intervals were?
Right.
Thousands and thousands of years ago. Like, who is it to decide what the intervals are and stuff like that? And then, for me, the more of a philosophical part came about time, like percussion.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like I think that was a big thing. It still is a huge thing. I'm still, practicing like drums. I practice drums. Our drum set stays set up at the house, along with Kofi's set.
Nice.
So Kofi has a little drum set that him and Mateo share, but like the books that I've read have inspired me. Like, what's his name? Kenny Werner, Effortless Mastery. So that's a very philosophical pianist. He's an amazing pianist.
Really?
And basically, you can make anything sound good if it's in rhythm, if it's in time. I mean, music is, we overcomplicate it sometimes, when two notes played certain ways can sound beautiful, and even if they're bad. And so he was one of the, I really dug on him, and I got tipped onto him by Bob Lee Rogers. So I'm very thankful for, Bob Lee Rogers have tipped me off to a couple of different things. Like, I've always been a fan of Pat Martino, like his fluidity and stuff. So I ended up learning his whole book. I got a book from Bob Lee Rogers, who had all of Linear Lines. I think it's called Linear Expressions or something.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the book, it had like all Wes Montgomery's chord voicings and stuff.
Wow.
And I was just like, yeah, this is awesome. It's like, so like I went through all those books, and then I was reading the philosophical books like Free Play. There's another book by Free Play. It goes deep into the inspirations and textures of the rooms and places you're in, to inspire you in what you play. And The Practice of Practice is another great book that I'm in, and that one's probably one of my favorite books, The Practice of Practice. So I think a lot of my philosophical has come from reading and just understanding that that's why, like, quite a while back, I just started changing the term for me. Instead of like musicians, like we're musicologists, because we're always studying.
Right.
And it sounds more expensive, so maybe we can get paid more.
Yeah. I like that. That sounds good to me.
So yeah, and it's in life, so just philosophical in life, and just being like, I started studying, like I'm raised Pentecostal, and but I'm the person that's like, okay, there's a baby that was born in China. He should not be faulted for, whatever his religion is. He never had a chance. When you're born, we're born, somebody has already given us our name and everything when we're born. So we really don't have a chance. We're born into a society. So yeah, I get like really deep and philosophical on that, and that kind of connects over to the musician type of stuff.
Yeah, totally.
So there's some deep stuff out there, man. I mean, it's like, but yeah.
So, what about, like, how do you equate those two things? Like, if somebody like saying like a baby's not, that's born into a certain religion, is not at fault for the religion
Right.
or their actions based on that. Well, how do you kind of equate that to music? And
It
make sure you're talking to the mic a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, sorry about that.
It's all good.
I think it makes me more at ease as far as exploring and stuff. And I think you might have said to me too, like, it's like, man, one of the shows I did, like, you're just like going for it up there.
Yeah.
And so I'm really stretching and on the notes, you play, and the wrong notes. Everybody wants to say the wrong notes, but if you spend enough time with a note, it won't be wrong. And I'm still, this is something I'm still working on. Like, one of my practice routines, I love practicing this way. I love practicing to drones, like
Drones?
yeah, to like
Like
a
Indian
cello
ragas
drone, whatever, like in
No
different
idea what you're
keys.
talking about.
Like a
Yeah,
cello,
so
just
like a cello drone, like a C note,
Yeah, just
D
just one note,
D
just hold
flat,
held
just
out.
one note.
Okay, sorry.
And you sit there and you meditate, and you can basically meditate to it. You can close your eyes and you hit all the intervals of whatever chord you want, and you can see how they clash and how they don't clash. It's
That's some real trippy stuff, John.
oh man, it's beautiful. And so if you like meditating or anything like that,
I
and
do.
mindfulness is another thing that's got me into it. Like, being mindful
Yeah.
is it's a huge benefit, man. I wish everybody could just take a pause and just like, okay, let me do this mindfulness thing for a minute, and that might help out with a lot of things. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. So because you're hitting all the bad notes, but you can hear exactly what they sound like, the interval to it. You can make whatever chord voicings you want, at whatever extensions you want to do, and you just sit on it. Having a rhythm in your head, that's important. So like, I could play all day by myself with drone things happening, with a rhythm in the head, changing it up, and just doing. It's just awesome. I don't know. I love doing that. But
it's an incredible ear training exercise.
yeah,
and just like you become so much more aware of your instrument, on like what you can do, and on top of like hearing those intervals and learning what those sound like, whether it's right or wrong, you like something that I was told because I didn't go to school either, and I got into jazz much later on, but it's like, if you know how to resolve it and you know when to resolve it, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
And in doing what you're doing, practicing like droning music and stuff, it's like you can hear where those wrong notes are, and then you know exactly how to resolve it.
Right.
And that's like just super important.
Yeah. So yeah, I wish I would have started that a long time ago, but I've been doing that sort of thing for some time. But like, if I could do it, I don't have any regrets, but if I could do it all over, I would have became a percussion player first, and then picked up an instrument.
Yeah. I think it's super. Honestly, man, like I think that the rhythm is the most important aspect of it all.
Yeah.
It's like you're saying. It's like you can play whatever you want, like harmonically.
Right.
But if rhythmically it's off, then that's really what screws it all up. It's like, play whatever note you want. If it's in time and you resolve it properly, then you're good. It doesn't really matter what you're playing. Honestly, just make it play it with intention and play it in, make it make sense rhythmically.
Right.
Billy doesn't know about that because Billy has no concept of rhythm at all.
No, I was about to say, you heard it here first. It doesn't really matter what you play in jazz.
Yeah.
And that's coming straight from Anton.
Yeah, that's not what I said at all.
No, like you literally said, we have it on camera and film.
Yeah.
So, but anyways.
So that's how I connect that. But like I say, I'm nobody. I'm just finding my own way. I think everybody has their own journey, and like I am like so deep still in my journey.
Man, but there's this like confidence and assertiveness that you have when you're playing. It's like, I mean, when we did that jazz festival that one year.
Oh yeah,
and
that
it's
was
like,
fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It was
What about that rhythm section though?
I know, and it was like Stan Piper and Stefan.
Yeah,
I'm just like, which are like some of the most badass. It's the most badass rhythm section you're gonna play with in Jacksonville, anyways. Maybe in like ever.
Yeah, they're incredible.
But I just remember like being up there and being so intimidated by everybody up there, and like you would play and just go for it and just it was so properly executed, and I was just like,
man,
I am overthinking this way too much. It's just like I want to try and do this, I want to try and do that, but it's my fingers stop working because I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right, I'm not playing with any confidence. It's just all about like what can I try and do here? It's just none of it's working, and you were just up there like fucking going for it and just like crushing. I was like, why am I up here?
First off, you freaking sounded fantastic that show.
I appreciate that.
I can't remember. I can't remember a show you didn't sound fantastic, but. I remember that show, and I mean that was a big show. It was a fun show.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Some awesome cats playing and Jazz Fest, so that was dope. But you sounded great though.
I appreciate that,
great.
but yeah, it was very intimidating being up there with all you guys. I was just like Stan and Stefan are just effortlessly just doing what they do, and you're up there just being you and just crushing it. I was just like, man, this is a lot not to compete. You don't think about it. You don't want to think about it like that, but just it's a lot to measure up to, I guess. You know.
I think that like the book, The Practice of Practice. They talk a lot about that's where our practice stage should be, but it's kind of hard though, especially if it's not your gig.
Right.
So I've been from Park Street Band and Parkerurban Band, so a lot of my gigs, I've been rehearsing actually at the shows.
Yeah, totally.
Because for me, I'm working a day job. Sometimes I was going to school full time. So for me to get where I wanted to, I was like, I would just go for it because it is what it is. This is going to be the sound. I'm going to go for it. But if I work for someone else, if I'm on somebody else's gig, then I wouldn't go for it. I'd be more like
that's
reserved.
An interesting perspective. Yeah,
more reserved because it is their gig and you want to make them sound good with whatever the music is they want to do. But my philosophy always has been, the texture to the music, we're always trying to make each other sound good.
Yes.
And I think everybody I've always played with, even you guys and you, we're always listening to each other and making each other sound good.
Yeah, Billy doesn't listen very much to anybody around him, but I definitely try and listen to people.
It's not true. Do you remember when we played with Rosie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dang.
That was a while ago.
Oh,
That was the first
man.
time.
I'm sure you sounded great.
That was a fun show.
Yeah, I crushed it.
Yeah,
and he was there.
He was on fire, man.
Thank you very much.
He was on fire.
And that was like
How many times you played Rosie since then?
0.
Yeah, I'm sure you crushed it.
I did crush it. I was I think 22 or 23. I wasn't very old.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That was a great show. You sounded
How
fantastic.
many times have you played with Rosie? It's weird.
Doesn't know who I am. That's fine. I didn't get an opportunity to woo him. You did and just didn't get a call back. That's okay though.
They called me.
What are you gonna do?
They were like, "Hey, we need a keyboardist. Let's get Bill on."
Speaking of Roosevelt, like, we're surrounded by so many humble players,
Yeah, he's
and we
great.
talked about Stefan and Stan, and like, there's so many like just completely badass players, and they're so humble, and that's a great thing about like our music scene. Like everybody, so many great players and so humble at the same time.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think it's a combination of like the jam scene. It has become such a broad term and encompasses so many different styles of music. I think that's where the humility comes from. It's like you have players that have been like someone like John Schofield, who came from the jazz community and just kind of dipped his toe in the jam scene and was like, holy crap, this is a whole new world that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
And somebody at that level to take a step back and be like, how do I wrap my head around this?
Yeah.
And then do it. And I think having influences like that, and then having people from like, you have like people that was kind of more reggae vibe to them. You have people that have more of like a funk vibe to them. People that have more like electronic kind of stuff to them. It's like all this mix of all these different styles. And everybody just is constantly realizing, like, I don't know all about that right there.
Yeah,
and that's what kind of creates that humility, I think, in this scene.
Yeah, there's not enough time, man. There's not enough time in a day to know.
Just isn't, for sure. So yeah, it's been like a incredible scene to break into, for sure.
Yeah. So I think I just play. If it's my project, I just play to play. It just there was. When I first was playing here in Jacksonville, I played a lot of Hendrix, a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan. That was another big influence, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and
Yeah, it was one of my
stuff.
big ones too at first.
And then the Allman Brothers hit me.
Yep.
Man, I just got floored by the Allman Brothers. I heard some of their music when I was in Michigan and stuff, in Flint, in Owasso, and but one of my really good friends who passed away, Jason Aramuni, he took me to my first Wani festival, and I went to 10 after that. And when me and him played together, man, it was just like you could close your eyes and our notes would just interlink. Like we would do all the Brothers tunes. Like, one of our favorites was Elizabeth Reed, man. That song is a freaking badass song to play over, man. So, I don't know, but yeah. So what pulled me to the Allman Brothers is like the jazz in it, and it was just, jam. It was jazz. It had good lyrics, and it was just a good vibe. And
the arrangements too, man.
Yeah.
It's like Southern rock was what like had a lot, like there's a lot of bands within that community that had like some pretty cool things going on with, and Skinner also, and the Outlaws. Like, all these bands had great stuff, but you heard that there's something about the Allman Brothers that was a force to be reckoned with.
Like the first jam band out of Florida, you know what I mean? I think that's the way you can look
basically,
at it.
I mean, like
or Georgia, wherever.
Yeah.
brought the improv element into it, I think.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And Dickie Betts like had this kind of more jazzy phrasing, but like very diatonic playing. And then Dwayne Allman just like this like, I'm just going to give you all of me in every note.
Yeah, powerhouse.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I mean, those guys hit me at a much later age. I was like in my early 20s. I mean, I'd heard them again growing up, but like I didn't really get into them until I was like in my early 20s, and I was just like, this is what I want to do right here.
Yeah.
Like, this is, yeah.
Yes, that's dope. Yeah, from them it was like Aquarium Rescue Unit.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Herring,
O'Teal. And then from that, Sean Lane.
Oh, yeah. He's an animal, man.
Yeah, Sean Lane, and from that, Sean Costello. He was a fantastic, pretty sure Sean Costello, like a blues artist. He sang and played. He'd play like a Les Paul with P90s with his fingers.
Okay.
Just amazing artist, but he passed away, unfortunately. But just like Sean Lane. And then more jazz musicians, some more Joe Pass I would listen to, and Kurt Rosenwinkel.
Yep.
Of course, John Schofield, and
that's
just that's.
I mean, like literally, like honestly, if you're trying to break into jazz like without any kind of formal training, the Go-Go album, from John Schofield is probably the Bible of this like kind of jazz funk fusion thing.
Yeah,
where it's like, it's all like the progressions are simple enough that if you're coming from a blues background or something, you can grasp onto it, and the harmony is simple enough where, if you're coming from like a blues or a rock background, you can kind of grab onto it pretty easily. But the phrasing and the rhythmic kind of like, and the comping and all this, just, I don't know, man. It's just like the grooves. It's also jazz influence. You're just like, it's the perfect like bridge to all that,
Yeah.
Where are you going? Of what? Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, but you're asking like, yes, I don't know, man. It's just, I guess that part was in me, but I'm still trying.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man.
So many influences, man. Like I'll stick on someone for like a couple months and stuff. Like, and it's not. A lot of times it's not guitar players. A lot of times it's pianists. Coltrane's what's his name? What's his name? One of the main cats. He just passed away, I think.
Oh, McCoy Tyner.
McCoy Tyner,
yeah.
McCoy Tyner, like his voicings, and then percussionists or horn players like Yusuf Lateef.
Yeah.
The pianist Alpha Miss. He's
I don't think I know.
Kind of like funk. He's from UK, I believe.
Okay.
Alpha Miss and Yusuf Diaz. He's a drummer.
Okay.
Just a lot of that stuff, and Indian stuff too. Is like
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Talk about all that droning stuff and being able to like play through like just weird stuff like
right.
That style of music is like amazing, man.
Yeah, Konako has been like a very fun thing to practice percussion and rhythms with syllables rather than 1E and a 2E and a 3.
Right.
using the conical syllables. So,
Right.
yeah. And just like I'm just like a mashup of everything. It's just so much stuff, man. I just love, and that's why Juanita is like, man, it's like you're in school. I'm like, babe, check this out. If you do this and just have this in your mind, it colors this.
Right. And she's just like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that information?
Yeah. So, but she's very quick, man. She like her alternate picking. I'm just like she's like, she just hasn't played out yet, like guitar and stuff. But
yeah, she's getting it.
Yeah, she's got her own feel. Like that's a difference, man. She has feel. You know, some people practice a long time and practice, but they might not have the feel.
Yeah,
it's just not there. But like,
yeah.
Did your parents or family have played music growing up or anything and taught you, or did you just do it on your own?
So my mom, it's funny because I have these posters. My mom was like, she used to perform like with musical spoons. Yeah, so
really?
There's a rumor that she had her legs registered or insured because she was like a dancing musical spoon performer.
Like Elton John's got his hands insured for $1 billion.
Yeah, something like that.
That's insane, though.
So I ran into this old poster where she's like with Billy Bob and such and such and such. 2 nights only.
Oh, I saw that poster you posted on Facebook, right? A while back ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
So that, that wasn't her, and she had a guitar. It looked just like Brian May's guitar. I don't even know what he plays. I love Queen, but I've never was totally into Brian May because there was so much other stuff. Like, that's the only reason why I'm not, because there's so much other stuff I have to spend. Whatever. There's so much time.
He's a good one to get into, though. He's amazing.
So that guitar got ruined. I don't know if it was the real one or not, but it was pretty cool. But I remember it went to the trash.
Oh no. That sucks.
So my brother Tim, he showed me my first country chords. I call them country chords, and that was it. After that,
country chords like your major sixes and that kind of thing.
Yeah, just like your C, D, and E, and
okay, like open chords.
I can actually play those on a guitar. I know all the country chords.
Yeah.
So I guess it's in the family, because the proof of that is my brother David, who I only seen him one time at a 7-Eleven. I remember I was coming back from a Pentecostal church with my mom, and my brother David, I happened to run into him at 7-Eleven. She's like, "This is your brother David," and I was probably 8 years old or something like that.
Wow.
And that was the last time I seen him until about 2 years ago. Me, Chris Poland, Stan, and Stefan were playing at the beach, and so we're playing, and my brother David's in the crowd. I had no idea. So I haven't seen him in years, since I was a little kid, and he surprised me and came to a show. And he jumped on stage with a harmonica. He played harmonica. But he also plays saxophone too. Oh. So I knew he played saxophone from the pictures and what people told me about him and stuff. And he plays really well. And he had harmonicas with him. So he was jumped on stage. It was awesome, man. That was a special day, man. Did
you go by Parkerurban also?
No. He's Dave Lafferty. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been an incredible moment, man.
We all got different fathers.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that must have been an incredible moment for you guys.
Yeah, it was something. We all went out. After that, we went to the pool hall. I think they closed it down, that little bar hangout at the beach bowling or something. Didn't they close?
Oh yeah, beach bowling. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived right across the street from there.
Yeah, they closed it down.
That was the cheapest margaritas you can get at the beach.
That's where we went after that. But yeah, so it's from somewhere. My there's still a debate who my dad is, right? So I wrote a few songs about that. So my brother, some of my family thinks my dad was this African American man, which his name is Granville White. So there's a song I wrote that's called "Coffee with Granville," but it's like an instrumental. I haven't played it out really that much at all. But so he gave the family a piano, which I didn't know until the last couple of years, that he gave the piano to me or Mark, and we always had this piano, but I really don't remember much else from him other than he was bald and black.
Interesting.
So, but he was very my brother said that he could play all the instruments, and I looked him up last year. I tried to go to the old music stores in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
and they're like, man, that sounds familiar. Because they thought maybe he might have worked for the old GM plant back in the day when the big rush was to move to Flint with the Motor City.
Right.
So it's that whole search has been ongoing.
Wow, man.
But that's what my brothers think. They think that's my dad. But to this
because
day,
the musical influence kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
To this day, I haven't really got the for sure word from the rest of my family. I don't know what to think about it.
Wow.
So that's always been I don't know, something.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
It's always been something.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting story for sure. I was wondering too, though, like, do you think that being raised with a musical family has more to do with it, or is it like, just like, my dad's Prince, so like I'm awesome at music now. I don't know.
I think it's
Maybe both.
it depends. Yeah.
Could be both things.
I don't know if it's genetic or not. I think it's not. I think it's because it's a lot of self. You got to do it on your own.
Yeah, but there's
If you get like influenced and raised by a musician and everything like that, then
that
for sure you're gonna be a musician.
Not for sure. That it helps, but
or a good musician. I meant to say, not like. Sorry.
Well, my brother and sister aren't musicians,
That's
and
weird.
they were raised by my dad, who's a musician. My mom, she didn't really raise us, but she was more. She was like a musician in her own right, but like I think that there's like looking back like ancient cultures and civilizations, there were people within those communities that provided those services, and those.
Yeah.
So I think that there is something genetic to it.
Really?
Well, because there's eugenics and all that stuff where it's like or epigenetics was it? Epigenetics,
Yeah,
right?
epigenetics, yeah.
Not eugenics.
No,
my
not
bad. Sorry.
eugenics.
Whoa, get careful with that one. Epigenetics, where outside influences can kind of affect your genetic makeup, and so there's that too. So I think there's definitely something genetic about being at least a creator in some way, or my favorite term, a creative. It's an interesting term, but
yeah, I'm a creative.
I think the environment definitely has a factor in it too, because like for me, I grew up in a household where I basically couldn't have anybody over. Like I couldn't have friends over at my house, so my outlet was BMXing, and playing music, playing guitar. So I'd be in my room for 4 hours a day, literally like 4 hours plus, learning stuff by ear, and just because I didn't have a car, I didn't have money like that, so my outlet, I didn't even want to walk out my room because it wasn't it wasn't a comfortable thing to do, to be hanging out in my house. So most of the time, I just love music, and I just became like obsessed with playing guitar, and.
But did anybody motivate you to like go into music or anything like that? Is what I guess is what I was really trying to say. Or did you do it like you're just like, I just love music, I just want to do this?
Yeah, no one motivated me. No one, like, I think it just as far back as I can remember, I was like, it just, that first acoustic that was a pain in the ass to play. It just I don't know. I just like the sound of music, man. I don't know.
That's how I felt
it's
too.
like we like one of the books I read, like Free Play, and Effortless Mastery. Like growing up as an adult, things become more complicated, but we should really take a step back and be a child. A child like Kofi and Mateo, they find music in everything. What is music? Music is them playing with their cars, or saying, "Hey, Papa, look what I just created." Life is music. Yeah. So everything, it's like it's all music, and they're not afraid to play. But it's like as we get older, we're afraid to do things. If we can like kind of keep that childhood play in our in our lives, that has nothing to do with the drive, but
well, no, yeah,
the innocence.
Yeah, there's like a shameful kind of ego that comes into play as you get older.
Oh my gosh, the ego is a freaking.
I want to say I don't think it's the ego thing for me, anyways. It's more of like there's all this pressure on you to like quit being Peter Pan and to fucking grow up and everything.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that what you're trying to say?
That's basically I'm not saying by ego. I'm not saying like having like arrogant. I'm
just
like
saying, Freud.
Like like an ego. Like being aware to like being self-aware to a point where you're almost like it's counterintuitive.
That's what I wanted to ask you too. Is because I didn't know that you worked a day job and everything like that too. That you were playing music, but you have a wife and kids and everything. And I wanted to know what it was like having to do that and also being a musician at the same time. I don't know how to. I can barely juggle, paying for my own apartment,
right.
but also working 40 hours a week.
I want to answer that question, but I want to do a plug on Steve I. So I'm not Steve I. He's an awesome individual, and I'm not a big Shredder fan, all right? But Steve I goes in deep about ego.
Yeah.
This year during the pandemic, he posted fantastic videos going deep into the meaning of life, playing.
Really?
Egos. I mean, he's such a kind-hearted individual. If you guys have a chance or any time, if you have downtime, check out some of his videos that are not talking about playing, but they're talking about life.
Sure.
Steve I, and it goes into a lot of that. But
yeah, for sure.
But juggling the music thing and working, I feel like I've always done a good job at my work. I don't want no one on my case. I just want to do my job well enough to get promoted or whatever needs to be done to make the company look good. But at the same time, in my head, I'm just doing it so I can play guitar. I'm just doing it so I can play guitar. So I bring my guitar with me every day to work.
Really?
I'm probably the only person
That's awesome.
that has a guitar on his back every single day. I bring it to work, and
that's why I took my job. So I work from home. The piano's right there.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So I practice at lunchtime, and I just bring it every day, which is kind of like fine tooth practice and high focus practicing. But so that's always been that's been a juggle, but it's been manageable because I just made it part of my life. This is something I have to do. I work, practice, rehearse. Even though we had kids, we had Jalen during the busiest part of playing in the band. Like when I was in Straight Up, then Parkerurban band, and then everybody was in a Straight Up Park Street band, and then Parkerurban band. Everybody was in that band, and with me and the mom, which Juanita, and we just somehow we made it happen, man. It was it was great, but I don't remember any really bad struggles from doing that, playing music and working full time and all that.
Well, not just working full time. That's not really what I was trying to get at, honestly. But I liked your answer. I was really saying about having a wife and having a whole family is what I was trying to say, and then also being a musician. Yeah. I just always thought I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a musician, so I'm just never gonna be able to do that. And then I meet musicians all the time. I'm like, yeah, I've got a wife and kids. I'm like, oh, man, how'd you do it? And I don't.
Well, that's
you make it work, I guess.
You make it work. I would like to think that I'm a very, very loving dad. Like I'm the type of dad that I show affection for my kids, and always have and I'm not afraid to use words of love and things like that. And I'm also the type of husband that I want my wife with me wherever I go, if it's possible. Because you're my best friend. If you're my best friend, you're gonna be with me wherever I go. And so really it wasn't a thing, because I think the love aspect was in there. So maybe that's the ingredient. I don't know.
I think it's very sweet that you and Juanita play music together and then have a whole family together. That's kind of like some Norman Rockwell shit right there. I don't know what it's saying.
No, but it's really great cool. You're able to make that work. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I thought we would have Jalen would get on the drums one of these days, because he was taking lessons from John Citrone.
Oh, okay.
John Citrone, and but which is fine, but it became like the soccer dude,
right?
So, which is awesome too. So I'm like, Jay, man. He's like, I need to make some money. I was like, Jay, all you gotta do is play a couple gigs with me, and you'll make more than Publix. You can do one gig, and you'll have those shoes, whatever.
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure.
It's like
people don't realize you can make money as a musician. Yeah. It's crazy.
But I think he's like me, because I'm a super shy individual. Like I was super shy growing up, and I'm still shy now. It is try to work with it, but
I feel that, man. I am too, despite my despite my loud mouth sometimes and my
It is weird,
my
yeah.
social ability,
How-
I am I get like severe social anxiety. I just have to like put on the brave face and walk into a crowd and just be like, "Yo, what's going on, man?" Yeah, I'm
Most musicians are like that. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. I don't know the logic of it. It's like you're completely social anxious, but I guess like it just makes sense for you to be on stage and.
well because you don't have to talk to people when you're on stage.
It's
You
also
can play.
true. And
That's
then you have also you. I feel like that's my whole thing is why I get social anxiety like crazy. But when I'm on stage, I'm like I have a purpose for being here in this people. I can't just like go to a crowd and just be like I'm just in this crowd. I can't do that.
Yeah, it makes
I have to have a purpose for why I'm there.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys have you ever look at your Myers-Briggs, like your personality traits or
Yeah,
whatever?
I'm a INTJ.
Okay.
I've never done that.
Yeah,
How do you do
Never
that?
done
I'm
that?
a
Well, he's
IN.
not human, so
Yeah.
he's
I'm an
reptilian.
IN something.
IN
Yeah.
something.
I'm an introvert for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of it is, but apparently I had the same as Hitler, so
Which is great.
So then you relate to my eugenics quote earlier. Anyways,
I think I'm an INF.
I understood what those words meant that you said, but I didn't say those words.
Anyways, you're
INFP, I think. I think I'm INF.
What's that
But
mean?
introvert. I don't know what it
It's,
stands for. I know the J is for judgment.
Yeah.
Judgmental. Sorry.
You are very judgmental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Perception. I can't remember now. I've
Yeah,
taken
me
the
neither.
test twice now, and it's been pretty much the same.
Where do you
but-
take a test at?
You can do it
Online.
online.
Yeah, you can do it
Myers-Briggs.
online. One of the jobs I had to take the test. They had us take the test just for fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
When I was on online dating, they would put their Myers-Briggs things on there, and the funniest thing I ever saw was a girl that it didn't work out, but hers was PB&J.
oh man.
I was like, I want to date you. It didn't work out. I have a girlfriend now. She's really great.
All right. Well, we
PB&J
gotta get to
funny.
unpopular opinions.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
that when I
Time
used to do
flies.
adult videos. They asked me about that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
Nice.
Yeah. Where are we going right now?
No, I'm just playing.
What's your Myers-Briggs? I'm PB&J.
Um,
That makes more sense to me.
before we go on unpopular opinions, I wanted to ask you about Top Shelf People because Top Shelf People
yeah.
is one of my favorite bands in Jacksonville, also.
Yeah.
And so, how'd you get involved with that, and where did that come from? What are you guys, for those who don't know?
Yeah, Top Shelf People. I guess before we get there, I guess it was like a connection to where it used to be like Fusebox Funk.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
That's Chris's band.
I remember
Fusebox
that.
Funk, and I met some of the cats that didn't even know, like Grant Nielsen and Jim out at House of Jams. And
Okay.
stuff. And as a matter of fact, like who was it there? I don't think I ever ran into Chris there, but so they decided they're going to change the name, and I guess they didn't have. I forget. I think Ladd was one of the guitar players, and Grant wasn't in the band at the time, so they asked me to join the band, and we just started writing music. Writing music in warehouse studios.
Okay.
It kind of went very fast. We started just going in there and making up riffs, lines, and everything, and we had like 4 or 5 songs like that. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was. It's kind of a that was J Dash, Chris Poland, Kerry Jordan, Jeff Bird, and Jim Starr.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I didn't realize that Chris was a rapper also.
yeah, and he can sing too.
That's
Yeah, see, he's a musicologist, man.
yeah,
He's
100%.
Do we play a show with y'all with Fusebox Funks?
He plays trumpet, or not a
No.
sax. He plays
Yeah.
sax.
Fusebox Funk, didn't we? Oh my god.
We played with
No,
Top Shelf
sorry.
People one time.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Top Shelf.
Yeah,
People.
yeah.
We didn't play a show. We played a
Yeah,
show with you
At
guys.
Yeah.
Jackrabbits, yeah.
For,
Yeah.
Forever ago.
That was the first time I saw you guys. I think the only time I've been able to see you guys. But I remember just like I'm a huge hip hop fan, so when I saw that, I was like, this is legit, like hip hop that should be out
Yeah.
on the
It was-
radio
Yeah, I
right
remember
now.
It was
that.
fun.
Oh no, yeah, I do remember that. Show.
That wasn't the only
Yeah.
hip hop band that I played in Jacksonville.
Really?
So I played before the band split up for a short stint with a Maestro, an Elevator hip hop experience,
Okay.
and in that band we actually we did a show with Natalie Stewart of Floetry
Okay.
at the Apple on I think it was off of Main Street, and that was a real fun project. Who we had on the drums there? Oh man, Eric Morant. he had his drum style, man. That hi hat, it was just so stanky. I still to this day haven't heard anybody play a hi hat like Eric. It was just nasty. But that was a fun hip hop band, and but Top Shelf. We did it was kind of like in Top Shelf people we do shows when they come about. We'd also back up like Joy Dennis.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys ever heard of Joy Dennis. She's an amazing singer.
It's her album release party, right?
Yeah.
At a Mojo.
Yeah,
We
did that. We did that show. We backed her up to open for Fantasia, and she's always, like a lot of bands. Like there'll be a lot of bands out there who back up singers and stuff. But Top Shelf has their own material in itself. Like the stuff's out there on iTunes and Spotify, and it's some dope stuff, man. It's
definitely worth the listen. I mean,
it's fun.
It's very well produced, and like the songs are just great. The lyrics are amazing. Chris just blew me away with his flow on everything. I was like, yo, you are just like way too talented for your own good.
That tune most days he leads it on vocals and everything. That's a slow jam kind of, but it's tight.
I love that stuff, man.
But yeah, J-Dash, he's out in Texas right now, so we still talk on our tread like, man, we need to do a show. At one point we were supposed to do a show in New Orleans for football game, after the football game out there.
Oh, no shit.
So we're still in talks. If it makes sense, we're gonna put a show together.
Hell yeah, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's amazing. Be sure to check out all of the stuff that John's got going on. A million projects, it seems like.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What would you say your main project is right now, though?
I don't really have a main project right now. I don't know. It's just like Parkerurban and Friends, or whatever. I don't know.
Didn't you play for with Springfield? In Springfield, with that?
Where was that at in Springfield?
I'm embarrassing myself.
No,
for the Porch Jam.
Porch Fest. Yeah,
Porch Fest. I was right.
Porch Fest. Yeah, Porch Fest.
I was right.
That was Parkerurban band. I think.
Yeah. That was like, oh my god, then I couldn't because of my job.
Yeah. Just gotta quit your day jobs and become a full-time musician and
don't
call it a
work
day.
a
I don't
day
have to tell you
job.
guys.
I just like
Night
playing
shift
music.
job.
I get lose track of the names, man. I just like, I wish some of the most fun gigs are the ones that you're not heading up and you just walk on stage and you're there to play, and I love those gigs.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But
oh yeah, we gotta get to unpopular opinions because Billy's got to go to his day job. So
I have a night shift
job. Okay.
So that I can play music.
So
It's more
how's that working out for you?
It's more badass than a day job. No offense, John.
I believe you.
My first unpopular opinion is.
Oh, by the way, if you have an unpopular opinion, please.
I filled them in.
Oh, you did already?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
My first unpopular opinion is I love playing outside and on the hottest days in Florida. It's my favorite thing to do.
Do you?
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm just joking.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't. But because we did that over this past weekend, which was great.
Up.
Yeah, you get really warmed up. Yeah. It's a quick way to get warmed up.
Yeah. We did Saturday.
We Saturday we did like a corporate kind of thing, and it was just, and then we got asked to play hottest day of the year, and then we got asked to play an extra hour on top of the 4 hours we were already playing.
Just a normal 5-hour gig outside in 110 degrees heat index.
Wow.
And we haven't been playing those kind of shows, so it's like our endurance isn't up already. It's like I'm like crushing water bottles, just trying to keep it. I'm not drinking just to keep the whole thing going.
It was miserable.
It was.
We played pretty well.
We played pretty well. It was just a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know what gives people the idea that doing outdoor things in Florida during the summertime is a good idea.
Right.
It is the worst thing you could do. Don't come here on vacation expecting to do outdoor things. It's either going to rain about 90% of the time, or it's just way too fucking hot to do anything.
It's not comfortable, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So
nighttime's not that bad.
that's my first unpopular opinion.
Not only that, don't you struggle with your tone outside, or do you always?
Yeah,
or was your tone always perfect outside?
Yeah, no, I struggle with my tone outside because it's a completely different thing to work with. On top of that, like your strings, like your guitar doesn't stay in tune.
Yeah.
It's either that it's blazing hot and like you're constantly going flat, or it's cold and like you're constantly going sharp.
Yeah.
So it's like a hard.
It doesn't. It affects every single member of the band because all of my stuff's electronic, right? It doesn't matter about my things.
Lucky,
growing or
man.
shrinking.
Yeah.
You say that, but due to the weather, like if it gets too hot, it will not turn on.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It like that's the end of it.
Man.
So like yeah, heat is music's enemy.
And you
100%.
And you got like a setup like how many keyboards you have?
I have 3 right now that I
Okay.
use, but they're all electronic.
I know because I remember Ricky
Yeah,
Alessi
Ricky's
playing in our
awesome.
band. He has like 3 or 4 keyboards and like
I sold
1,000
him one of my
chords and
keyboards,
stuff.
actually,
And
yeah. He took my job at Schroeder's. We're pretty good friends. We talk
Okay.
all the time.
I
Yeah.
actually saw him the other night.
he's a
Really?
beast. Ricky's a beast.
Ricky,
man.
I miss you. I haven't seen
Yeah,
you in a
Ricky,
couple
we
years.
miss you. That was I like the videos that you sent me the other day. He was like tearing it up on the piano, but
He was the Franz Liszt thing
Yeah.
that he's still
Yeah.
working on since I've met him.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm not trying to say anything bad about him at all. It's just like, oh my god, how do you learn a song for 5 years?
He's
But,
he
like,
just he's extremely dedicated.
Oh, yeah.
and disciplined musician.
Yeah,
that's how I am with Giant Steps.
Yeah, I wanted to.
That
yeah,
is
that's
true.
right.
Why would I ask somebody who does jazz? Like, why are you trying to play the same songs for years? Obviously, you've been playing the same song from the 50s. Okay,
I meant to bring that up earlier. Yeah, your dedication to giant. That's what I was talking about, the military discipline and giant steps. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
I get if I can't lock down a song after 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
I'm basically moving on from that. So I'll figure it out
Is
later.
that
Yeah.
song hard?
Yeah,
The
Anyway.
changes are so fast. It's all.
he's
Yeah.
never heard it
I
before.
know exactly what giant steps is.
Anyways.
Not that, All right, my this is bad. My unpopular opinion is you don't need a flag to represent your hatred. Just keep it inside.
Yeah, that's super unpopular.
I went.
That's super duper unpopular.
I went to Swanee this weekend, and it was just there's no music there, and it was just Trump 2020 flags as far as I could see. It was the weirdest thing. To each their own. If you want to vote for the guy, that's fine. I just like, why is there a flag for him? I don't understand
It's
that.
a flag for every president that's out there.
There is
but-
not a flag for every president.
All right.
There is no. Where's the Obama flag?
They got
That's a good unpopular opinion.
I don't understand it.
I support the ideas of America first,
Yeah,
and the
of course.
promise of America first, and then the flag comes second.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just,
a good way to look at it.
this is just
Dude,
so
does anybody else want to touch on this one or
No,
Which one?
I'm-
the flag thing with the hatred?
Oh man, I got lots of stuff to say about it, but I could do my own podcast on that, but I'm not going to do it right now.
All right.
Being a veteran,
Yeah, I'll
there's a
bet.
bunch of BS happening right now.
Yeah.
That was so
Um,
weird. It's Swanee of all places, man. I just couldn't believe it.
All right. So my second unpopular opinion is that all mushrooms taste the same.
What kind of mushrooms?
Yeah,
all
exactly.
of them.
There you
They
go.
all taste the same to me.
Ugh.
Whether I'm about to embark on the journey into my mind or I'm about to make a nice just little omelet, they all taste the same to me. I made an omelet the other day, and I put like a bunch of just chopped up mushrooms in there, not the kind that make you trip, just regular mushrooms. And I took a big bite into it, and I was like, I feel like I'm eating cow shit right now.
But you're eating bad mushrooms.
It's kind of related.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying is like obviously they don't taste exactly the same.
Magic
but
mushrooms
what-
taste bad. Everyone knows that.
all mushrooms taste
That
bad.
is not true.
They just like you deal with them because they're good for you.
Yeah, that's definitely unpopular.
Yeah, I do like mushrooms
Yeah,
though.
me too, man.
I mean,
I-
I'll eat them.
Actually, Juanita, she didn't ever try mushrooms until like the cooking mushrooms,
yeah.
Until she met me, so we had to get that for like appetizer and stuff. But like we use mushrooms a lot, like the big caps and stuff.
Yeah.
The
You can dice
shiitake
them up,
mushrooms.
garlic,
Yeah.
olive oil,
You get
and
a good enough
onions. And
mushroom,
just-
it tastes like you're eating steak.
oh man,
I do that. That's how I cook. That's
Yeah.
how I have to. I can't eat them by themselves. I have to mix them up and like
Well, you have
and
to-
like
you
put
have to cook
like,
them first.
spices and yeah. I'm just saying, man.
You just eat them out of the ground.
Okay.
yeah.
Is that your problem?
It's just it
You
always
talking about the mushrooms you found at the ground at Wani or
Yeah.
one of the festivals?
yeah the ground
Halloween?
score mushrooms
In a
yeah.
cow patty?
or the ones in the back of the spider,
Yeah,
the wooden spider.
bro. I'm just saying they all taste the same to me.
They
It's
don't.
all. They,
They don't
all
taste
right,
the
what's
same.
your unpopular opinion?
Lifetime movies are amazing.
Okay.
I watched. We got stuck in the cabin because it was raining. We had to watch a Lifetime movie.
Sounds
Because I was
great.
just going through the channels. There weren't a lot of channels on the TV, and a Lifetime movie came on, and like, it was the most hilarious thing. Like how bad it is. Like, have you ever seen a movie that's so bad it's hilarious and you want to keep watching it?
Lifetime. You had me at Lifetime. I don't even know.
He's like, no.
I don't even know.
It's like they're terrible movies.
Every one of them's the same. That's the
low budget chick
the
flicks,
joke
basically.
that Zach Galifianakis has is. You ever see that one Lifetime movie about that woman?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that's like what they're all about.
Yeah, about that woman. Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. So my third and last unpopular opinion is 80s Prince is lame.
I just don't understand how. Okay, I get it. I get what you're saying.
It's like if I want to do blow off of a hooker's butt in a bathroom stall in New York in the 80s, I'll listen to that Prince.
Sounds like a good
But
time.
if I want to listen to
Sounds like my Friday night.
some of the best funk you've ever heard, Prince circa 78, 79.
Yeah.
That's the game changing shit right there. Then the 80s rolled around, it's just like and then just like 1999 is one of the most boring songs of all time.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a good song, but so I have an unpopular opinion. There's not much 80s music that I really care for, especially the drums.
Yes.
And the drums and percussion of the 80s and stuff.
They just got the reverb turned up all the way.
Everything.
To the snare.
I mean,
every Bruce Springsteen song or whatever.
and we had really shitty cars back then. Like,
Yeah.
we made really shitty cars in the 80s. So
And guitars too.
yeah,
right.
all that stuff was crazy. But there was some really cool stuff out of it too. But yeah, no.
You
No.
just
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, unpopular opinion. You're not a fan of the '80s. Period.
No, not really. I'm a fan of Prince, but I understand what you're saying. Like, there's some of my favorite artists. If they have that sound, I'm kind of like, I can't listen to it really.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I'd rather listen to it live or something.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm halfway joking with that. Like there's some great songs on 1999 and on Purple Rain and on Controversy. There's a lot of good stuff there, right? But it's like for me, for somebody who's like listening to the production as a whole and just like I want the drums to have a voice too. And when the drums are just I'm just like, okay, every song just sounds the same to me.
Yeah.
You know, and like Prince's first two albums were not like that. They were just like, it was like Stevie Wonder meets Smokey Robinson or something. It was just like this crazy R&B
Anton doesn't like Purple
funk
Rain.
stuff.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. One of my favorite albums of his was The Musicology.
That's a good one too.
One of the reasons was that I seen him in concert here, me and Juanita. That was my birthday present ticket.
Nice.
And
I wanted to go to that
he
show.
was phenomenal, man. He was phenomenal. But so unpopular opinions. Is that are we still on that?
Yeah,
You're
I
still on
got,
that.
I
He's
got,
got one more than
I got
yours.
one last one, but that was a good one. That the 80s,
Yeah,
not in the 80s. I like that one. This is. I had this crazy idea today when we were talking about what we're going to talk about when you came over. Is we should adopt a guerrilla band mentality, and that is basically where you go to a show, you wait till set break, and then you have a full band with you, and you just hop on stage and start playing.
Ooh.
And
Basically, just take the show over. You want to talk about your experience?
yeah. I'll tell a story here in a second. But yeah, just imagine like go to Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
And just what do you call it? Rush the stage.
Yeah.
But it's not just rushing the stage to attack the musicians. It's like get them out of the way and then take over everything.
Ooh.
And then start playing.
Like, yeah, wait till Dave Grohl's just like, I'm going to take a break real quick and just hop on there and just be
Oh,
like,
man.
fuck you, Dave, and just go at it.
And start killing it, and they're like, "Wait a minute. Well, actually,
Did we kick him off now or whatever?"
And that's the band's whole. They're called the Guerrilla Warfare Band or something.
Oh,
and
I
then
like
they're-
that. See, I like that.
You never know when they're gonna play. They're just gonna pop up at
fucking love
any
this
given
band.
person's show.
And the thing is, the crowd's gonna love that.
That's what I mean.
They're gonna be like,
oh shit,
bro,
I can't
and
say
then
the
they can't come
Gorillas.
down. They're gonna be like, "Oh, all right, we gotta work with this now."
There's
So-
already a
we
band
should-
called the Gorillas. You can't do that. But like that's what it should be called.
we
for
should
sure.
we should reach out. We should reach out to some bigger bands and offer this as a service for them, and just make their show that much more. It's like something that it seems like they hate it, so the fans are gonna be like, oh my god, that was so fucked up, but they actually paid for us to be there to do that.
But yeah, but
Right?
Guerrilla Warfare band would be hilarious.
I'm
to be
into
in.
that.
I would definitely do it. What were you asking that I should say?
About your story about when that happened to you, almost.
Well,
You know
it's a
what I'm
pretty
talking
good
about?
story, but we don't have a lot of time.
Okay.
left,
Okay, so
unfortunately.
let's let John do his unpopular opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what I was gonna say, but I know one of them is, I don't know if it's unpopular or not, but I can't wear shorts on gigs unless it
I'm with you on
specifically is like that type of gig where it's like it's a pool party or something.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. Not even really tank tops, man. I don't know. It's like I just can't do it.
I feel you.
Is that unpopular? I don't know.
No.
Some people think
as
it
a
is, but yeah.
musician, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But like, it's crazy if you like show up at a gig, everybody else is wearing shorts and sandals, and like you're the only one wearing pants, and you look like a weirdo.
Yeah.
You just look so weird with shorts on stage.
How about Sean? The first OBJ that we did with Sean shows up in gym shorts, just wears that. It's like, bro, are you fucking kidding me?
It was 11 o'clock.
It was 11 o'clock in the morning, Saturday.
Saturday
set.
at
Yeah,
OBJ.
so, yeah,
no
I
one's
get it.
complaining at
Nope.
a jam band festival.
I get it. I just thought it's like what, but he's one of those guys who be like, I don't give a fuck. I wear shorts on a gig.
Wear
I don't care
whatever
what
you
gig
want.
it is.
He doesn't care. He
Let's
was
see.
meant to be a dad. He looks like a fucking dad.
I agree with you though. I'm on board
Yeah.
with you on that one.
Let's see
a
what's
good
another one. The song "Sweet Caroline." Bum, bum, bum. That interval drives me fucking nuts.
Why?
It makes me want to jump off a bridge.
Yeah,
It's so sad, but the song it's a great song actually. But that interval, it makes me feel like okay, life is done.
Yeah,
No,
it's
like,
very,
bum,
it's
bum, bum.
yeah,
It
I
kind of
don't know,
sounds
it's
like
very
the
final.
ending, or
Yeah.
like when you fuck up on The Price is Right.
There you go.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Very, yeah, that's a good. That's an interesting perspective on that.
Right.
That is
very-
unpopular.
It's
That's
a very, it's
unpopular.
very unpopular.
A lot of
And
people
it's-
like that song for some reason.
Yeah, I
And Neil
can't-
Diamond.
I
Either
can't
you like him
stand-
or you love him.
I can't stand about anything that he does, but which is all unpopular opinion number 4 for me today. Neil Diamond is overrated.
Oh,
Anyways,
wow.
I'm just joking.
Well, it's not
But
even
then
that.
again, I don't like very
That's not even
superstitious
enough.
neither, though.
You don't like superstitious either?
No, just because I played it so many times. And
I
it's
feel
like,
that.
You know, you're like, all right, we're about to jam. All right, we're about to create some cool shit. They're like, and they call it superstition.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's if I ever go to a jam and
oh.
I get it's like my first song. I get called up. I'm like, okay, I've heard like a bunch of cool tunes throughout the night.
Yeah.
And then I get up there and I hear superstition get called. I'm like, fuck you. I'm out.
I feel like it should be a Halloween themed song.
It is a Halloween themed
And that's
song.
what I mean. Like, you should only be able to play it in October.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, anyways, you want to wrap it
What's
up, I
another
guess?
one?
Oh, you got it.
Maybe one more.
Crushing it.
I prefer Jerry Garcia over the Grateful Dead.
Yes, 100%.
Like
The Jerry Garcia band, you mean?
His
Yeah.
band and the projects, and
I like Phil Lesh
Yeah.
a lot, though. Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Jerry Garcia band was just more like, just tighter and funkier
I
and
get
just
it.
better
But
musicians.
Phil
and-
Lesh was just fun.
Yeah,
Where
you like
Daisy
fun.
Dukes- yeah, 100%. I like 80s and fun, and I like music and fun.
Yeah.
Fuck me, right? Sorry.
All right, guys. This has been another episode of Bottom the Bill. Thank you, John, for being on here today, man.
Yeah,
It was
man.
awesome.
man, thank you guys. Much love to both of you guys.
Hell yeah.
I'm really
coming.
enjoying what you guys are doing here, and I can't wait to get to play again and stuff. So
Hell
we're all
yeah.
on the same
Make
boat.
sure you check out all of John's projects. If you have any interest in participating, email us at bottomofthebill@gmail.com with any kind of questions or unpopular opinions or comments or guest suggestions. Follow us on all of our outlets you'll see down there. And buy tickets for Monster Mash through
Monster
us.
Mash. Halloween. You can't miss it.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time.
Adios, muchachos.
all right.